Hello, lovely people. My screen kind of looks a little bit jittery today, so hopefully my internet is okay. Let me know if the internet is okay on your end. It looks really jittery to me. So, that being said, I'm going to say a prayer, and if the internet isn't working, I might save the discourse on grounding and ego for another day so that it's not messed up. God and Goddess, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you so much for our chance to exist and ascend the golden ladder. Please continue to provide our needs as we try to help others with the resources that we have, not hoarding them for ourselves, but showing the world the helpful nature that we are as the Christ family, being the hands and feet of mercy. Please help us to forgive others. Please help others to forgive us. Help us all make better decisions and choices as we are trying to become better people in order to make a better world. In the name of Elohim, I pray. Amen. Today is Family Day. So I wanted to say the prayer, our God and Goddess, immanent and transcendent, send to all your angel of peace. Oh no, this didn't get edited right. To my family and friends, send your angel of love. Let me just edit this really quick and update that. Having some technical difficulties recently, and yes, as we've mentioned before, our family and friends isn't just, our blood family. It is all of the people that we are in constant communication with, the people that we work with, the people that we are in community with, all of these people. So it's important that we are spending time consciously trying to focus on manifesting peace in these different areas of our lives and sending love to our friends and family. I love that. So David D says that the internet is okay. Awesome. Okay. Please, God and Goddess, help us focus on doing what we need to do to make this world into a garden paradise once more. Exactly. We have manifested this mess and we can get out of it. Kyle, hey Kyle, how's it going? Kyle says, hey. David D says, internet's okay. And also, you look gorgeous. Extra tanned, glowing. Aw, thanks. I have not been spending too much time in the sun, so I'm surprised. But, sorry, I'm trying to get this off of here. There we go. So, today I saw this interesting reel that was talking about how boys that were diagnosed with ADD or ADHD actually they had a dirt therapy and they were sent outside to play in the dirt, get their feet connected to mother, and all of their symptoms literally went away. They did not have these conditions anymore. So many of our problems can be healed by returning to Mother Earth, not just in the realm of children who obviously should not be forced to sit in desks all day. The school system is so corrupt and wrong that obviously children are going to have behavioral issues when you try to get them to sit down all day and focus and to have learning in this environment that is just not designed for learning. It's designed to make useful idiot slaves. It's designed for you to be a factory worker. When you hear the bell, you move, right? You move to the next project or activity. So not just this ADHD, not just children, but all of us, not just inflammation, but depression and so many different things that we struggle with, that we face, can be alleviated by just going and reconnecting to Mother Earth. Even if you are in a building, even if you're in New York City, not around real grass or ground, you can still have the intent to ground and have that connection to Mother Earth consciously made through that connection. You don't actually need physical ground to stand on, but it definitely helps. It's less work that you have to try to make that connection when you're actually standing on the ground making that connection. So yeah, I would definitely encourage you wherever you are to ground yourself. All of the, not just the physical ailments, but depression, sadness, anxiety, all of these negative feelings and emotions, the mother can literally take those away from us. So I would definitely encourage that. There's a documentary called Earthing that talks about the physical aspects of it and how people, their inflammation and other issues literally went away or were lessened by grounding every day. So it's really, really important and literally free healing all around us with nature. It's just so beautiful. The other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, which is related, is the ego and also demons. I've been watching this women's, well, it's not women's, but it's the Mary Magdalene Summit. Tomorrow, the 22nd, is a special day for Mary Magdalene. And so there's a bunch of different things going on, but this Women's Summit or Magdalene Summit, whatever. I was listening yesterday and this person was explaining about, well, they were talking about the ego, and the way that they were mentioning it was in the cartoons where you have the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. However, that is not the case. Your ego is not a devil, a demon, or this negative force that's trying to pull you down. Your true ego, let me put this up. Ego is the self, that which feels, acts, or thinks. Your ego, your true ego, is the true you. Obviously, coming into this world, we have been programmed and brainwashed away from our true selves, and there's that false ego, the false representation of what we are. And thankfully, through the awakening experience, we're shedding off that false ego and aligning with our true ego, our true selves, and having all of ourselves align with that. The idea of this demon on one shoulder and the angel on the other is exactly that. We all have these influences that are demonic or angelic. We can tune in to either frequency. We can tune in and follow either voice, and that will strengthen whatever voice we are following, obviously. Just like any relationship, the more that you spend time together, the more that you listen and interact, that is the closer that you're going to get, right? And you can't have it on both sides. You can't be actively trying to go the demonic route and get closer to those demons and trying to get closer to the angelic side as well. You can only go one way. You're either spiraling up or you're spiraling down. And demons know exactly where to prey on our egos to get us to react. The situation recently that I had with the accuser and the translator and all that stuff, for me personally, injustice is really something that bothers me very, very much. So demons can really play and prey on my ego in that manner and make me feel like I'm at an injustice and get very emotional and irritated and wound up. Demons know exactly where to mess with every single person in order to try to manipulate us, get us to go down their path, whether it's the injustice or jealousy, anger. All of these demonic forces are in fact demons, and we can consent to them in our lives. We can strengthen that bond, or we can get away from it. One of the great things about this is that it is about our intent, and although we have allowed these demonic influences from all sorts of different behaviors, whether it's food, media that we're watching, pornography, all these different avenues can allow demons that consent to come into our lives, to mess with us, to come into our bodies, to live vicariously through us, and to make us diseased and depressed, to drag us down. So it's really important that we are conscious about what we're doing and that we're trying to actively have our words, thoughts, and deeds aligning with the higher vibrations so that we can ascend. When we're having demonic attacks, when we are waking up and realizing these demonic attachments, grounding is a really, really beneficial way to help not only get through those attacks, like when you're feeling anxious or depressed or any of these negative things, go outside, put your feet on the ground, and literally just push down all of these negative energies. Just say, Mother, take them from me. She will literally pull them down from you. And these demons are afflicting you, they're messing with you. But when they get to her, when you send them to her, they don't mess anymore. They do not mess with mama. She doesn't put up with it. They instantly turn from those demons into the angels. They're not real angels, but I'm saying their behavior goes from demonic to angelic when they get sent to mom, because she just doesn't put up with it and they respect her. So going out and grounding, and even trying to remove those demonic attachments. From one of the ways that I kind of was already saying, like I just picture kind of starting at the head of my head, my crown, whatever, and like a wipe, almost like you're wiping a board or something, just kind of trying to see any dark energies just push down. And at the same time, you can also imagine this white light coming in from God and Goddess that's also helping to push that negative energy down, 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 down until it completely leaves your body and goes into the earth, leaving you full of that radiant light, that love of the universe, that positive energy that you can then go and continue the rest of your day. What just popped into my mind was that sphere of protection that I mentioned before, where as you breathe in, you're seeing that white light fill you. And as you breathe out, the white light expands from your heart, creating an ovum around you, a shield that is really helpful as well. So like I said, when we're going and interacting in the world and having to deal with all this stuff, there are a lot of different natural tools that we can use to help protect ourselves. And when we have not been protected, to help heal ourselves, to come and regenerate with the earth, to let mother take away all of our pains and our sorrow and all of the worries. Definitely helpful for me. I have the full moon coming up and I'm feeling anxious about it. So I know for myself, I'm going to be spending a lot of time outside. I've also been working on a portal, if you will, just a spot in my yard. It's a little circle where I will go and meditate every day, do my communions, and really pour in a lot of energy into that sacred circle, so that I have a space that will be empowered through all of the different magical rituals, the communions, and all of that. So I'm really excited to develop that further and have a space that I can go anytime that I need to rejuvenate, to relax, to connect with the divine. I'm going to jump in the chat here. David D says, boys in particular struggle when forced to sit behind a desk all day. Exactly. And there's so many different ways that we can inspire learning and that desire to learn. Like we all have that natural innate desire to learn, to want to know new things, to explore this world around us. And that's literally taken from us through the educational system on purpose. They don't want that. They don't want us to be curious. They want you just to be educated just enough to be their useful idiot slaves. And it's sad. It really needs to change. Kyle says, I can't believe my most recent encounter with someone on Facebook on the topic of veganism. They think veganism is demonic. How ridiculous of them. Yeah, it's definitely sad how twisted things have gotten, but especially with religion and the false apostle Paul claiming that veganism is a doctrine of demons, even though veganism was literally the diet that God said to do in Eden. So if veganism is demonic, then that would mean that essentially God is demonic in their own logic. That literally does not make sense. And also, how twisted is it that living in peace and harmony with animals is considered demonic, while rape, kidnap, murder, enslavement, all of these literal evils are considered not demonic. It's very twisted. Kyle Smith, how's it going? As someone with ADD/ADHD, I agree. Mother Nature heals me every time. Oh, cool. I ground while I sleep. Thank you so much for that confirmation. Like I said, I just heard it on a reel this morning, and I was like, oh, that's so cool and really obvious. Like the connection with Mother Earth is really what's missing in so many ways. Like I said, it can heal so much. So David G says, your ego is what thinks, acts, and feels. It is your soul, the real you, and it is not evil. Exactly. And that real you, your soul, wants what's best for you. And it can be hidden in so many different layers when, especially these demons come in and they influence us, where we think that those voices, those thoughts are from us. we think that we want. You know, those people that are like, oh, I'll die without bacon or whatever. It's like, that's not your true ego. That's not your true self speaking. That is those demonic attachments, the programming, the lies that you've been told, all manifesting in that false ego, demonic. So absolutely. They follow Paul's deceptions. Ultimately, their flesh eating is the demon, is the true doctrine of demons. Exactly. And that's exactly what we see in the Holy Megillah, is that the evil one is the one that lured Adam and Eve to the edge of the garden and was saying that they needed to kill animals and eat their flesh. We see that took them from these very high vibrational light bodies that literally could live forever down, down, down to more dense forms until we have the fallen world that we see today. So it's really sad to see how far we've come, but it's really also exciting that we're in this time where we're awakening and taking back our power and rising once more up the golden ladder of being. I'm really excited to see what this world looks like when it's not fallen, because especially around Mount Shasta, this is so beautiful. Like the beauty of this fallen world is so incredible. Like I can't even fathom how much more beautiful it's going to be when it's not like this. Hello, Tarantino. How's it going? Industrial farming is bad, but what about hunting wild animals? Is it natural? Our ancestors did it. Well, how would you like to be hunted? You're just frolicking around in the woods and all of a sudden somebody kills you. It's actually really traumatic for any soul, whether it's an animal soul or a human soul, to be taken from their body and eaten, especially before their time, be taken from the body. It's a traumatic experience, and that spoils and poisons the flesh that you are going to eat. That terror and vengeance that animal feels literally makes their flesh, their blood, it turns it into poison. So you're consuming these negative vibrations, this curse. That animal that you Bambi's mom was just going through the forest and she was all happy as can be, and you shot her, and now she's angry at you, and now you're going to go and eat her body, but she's sitting there like, I cursed this person. You know, they're just sending all that negative energy as well. Not all, but I mean, I would if you did that to me. So what we put into ourselves is very important, even more so. Our bodies are not meant to consume flesh. It prematurely ages you. It kills you off. It leads to diseases, and it corrupts your mind. Just even thinking that it's okay for us to harm animals is a corruption of the compassion and love that we all have inside, that is connected to who we truly are, our true ego, that love and unconditional love and compassion and kindness that we all come from. That's still inside. And once we tap into that, we're going to be showing that to all of the species on Earth, not just the ones that look like us. Hey, Dustin, how's it going? Dustin says, hey. David E says, their flesh is cursed by them. When you eat it, you eat this curse. Exactly. And some of those quotes that I was saying are, well, you might not have recognized that they were quotes, but they were actually scriptures from the Megillah talking about how the blood actually turns into poison, the terror and vengeance turns into poison, and also that it's really traumatic for the animal to be taken from their body as well. So we're eating all that trauma, we're feeding into that, we're putting that karma out, and it's not something that any of us truly want back. The false ego, the demons will say, oh, who cares, it's bacon. If hell's gonna be a barbecue, then awesome, hopefully they got some pig on the grill, right? Those are demons and not the true self, because the true self understands karma as well as its true nature of love and compassion and all of that divinity that we all have. So Dustin says, loving the conversation. I'm glad that you could join, and I'm happy that you like the conversation. It's really uplifting. I absolutely love that we're able to connect all over Mother Earth using media or social media, and I'm really hopeful for better social media platforms in the future. But yeah, it's really exciting to share and connect with truthers. So thank you. That being said, I am going to get off of here soon, but I am going to spend some time grounding myself today and trying to embody the teachings that I teach you. These things I'm not just telling you, I'm doing them myself. I'm doing the daily communions and trying to be more peaceful in my life, trying to, think twice before I respond to something or any type of interaction with social media, people not pre-vegans that want to fight, just really taking a time to think about what your reaction is going to be and how best to react kindly in a way that's going to help change them. When you're acting in this survival state in your mind, which is what most people are doing, when we interact with these pre-vegans and essentially argue with them, they get into that survival mentality state and you can't see straight, you can't understand you can't respond to logic in that state. You need to get them out of that state of survival and into a state where they're feeling loved and accepted and that they have a safe space to admit that they were wrong, essentially, and to help go through that change in a safe manner. So it's kind of ironic because these big tough flesh eaters would be like, oh, we don't need a safe space and all that stuff, but realistically they do, and they're very hurt. And us attacking them and telling them that they're evil, even if they are acting evil and doing all this stuff, isn't going to help them awaken to the truth or respond well. So I've been reading more about, the different states of the mind and trying to come at things like Christ and Miriam would, because they are really great examples. They were always able to say the right thing and impart the right wisdom and knowledge into those people's lives that they are interacting with. And that is my goal. I want to be like Miriam, and help change the world. David says, you practice what you preach. Well, I'm definitely trying. It's easier said than done. A lot of these kindness and compassion, loving lessons, especially in this fallen world, are really hard. And I think that just trying to lean into the love that the divine has for us and their bubble of safety, us getting into that bubble of safety can help us provide that bubble of safety for others, so that they can be lifted up as well. It sounds really like a cliche, like leftist or something, but I don't mean what they mean. But I do think that we all need that safety. We all need that love, that support, that kindness in a space where we feel like we're acknowledged, we're understood, and we're cherished and loved. Dustin says, yes, I will work on it as well. Yay. Thank you. I'm really excited to connect with people that want to improve themselves and be better. Hey, Rocket, how's it going? You eat the curse. Yes, exactly. And so much of what we eat is important as well, like the mentality, the vibration, the feelings of the ones that are growing it, that are harvesting food for us. The Nazarenes would primarily try to eat what they grew or what other Nazarenes grew, so that they knew that it was not. Think about a farmer who hates his job, who despises what he's doing, and that anger energy is going into when he's planting the seeds and when he's picking the crops. All of that matters. So, the powers that be have tried to really industrialize and commercialize everything so that it's just this factory farm on every level where it's just automated. There's no heart and soul in it, and then we see the result, right? We have this chemical food that's just complete poison. The nutritional value sucks, and that's why it's really nice to go to like local farmers markets and stuff and see people that actually do care about their groceries or the stuff that they're growing. David says, the animal curses who killed them, curses their flesh, so you get all this bad karma that the demons then use to make us suffer. Exactly. Demons love that energy, and like if you are, if people send you curse energy your way, the demons can use that and direct it to whatever way that they want. Maybe they direct it at your face, maybe they give you a different, like they give you certain pains or whatever, but the demons love that. So when we're angry and like we're thinking about someone that made us angry and sending out negative energy towards them, those demons will use that to really hurt the person. So it's important that we're trying to stay in a very loving manner, even when people do bad things against us, because we're all magicians. We all have power. Your thoughts, your deeds, your words, everything, your feelings, it all has power. And when we put that into the universe, we're literally manifesting the reality that we want around us. And we don't always know what's going on. You can sit there and have this very angry energy at someone, and you don't know how that's going to actually affect them and what karma that's also going to bring for you as well. So be very cautious about that. Rocket said, a bit out there, the animal curses who kills them. So if you eat it, you consume their crime. Well, it's not just the animal who curses who kills them, but yeah, it's you who eat it. They're not giving their body willingly. That is a sacrifice that was stolen from them, and they're angry. It should be very reasonable to understand that. David says, it is difficult to stay consistent with the daily communions, but it is important to stay consistent. The effects build up over time, but you must keep making the effort. Exactly. I definitely agree. Over the full moon prep time, I kind of got out of the habit of my communions, and it really set me back. But it is really important. And like you said, it's important to stay consistent, even just saying the prayer and having your intent focused for even just a short amount of time is better than nothing. The purpose of the communions are to connect with the different branches and roots of the tree of life, these different powers, the soil, the water, the air, the father and mother, these different roots and branches, like I said, so that we are connecting with them and becoming closer to them, becoming one with them. Just like I was saying earlier, when we spend time with an entity, whether they're in physical form, maybe they're in spiritual form, when you spend time with them, when you are doing rituals with them and going to communion on a daily basis, on a consistent level, you're building that bond, strengthening with them, you're getting closer to them. And so it's very important to, like you said, stay consistent. Kyle says, I think Proverbs 23 fits well here. Yes, I agree. I agree with that. Dave D says, most spiritual teachers say kill the ego. You teach the ego is you, and you are good. You are divine. Yes. I think that I think that if people just realized how divine they are, that they are this god or goddess in human form, they wouldn't even want to be doing these things. Like, why are you eating that rotting flesh? Don't you know that you're a god and goddess? Why are you eating that bee vomit? Don't you know that you're a god or goddess? Like, why are you putting these things in your mouth, bird droppings? Why are you doing this when you know that you're divine? That it doesn't connect. So it's one of my passions to help people realize and remember their divinity, because it will help change so much of our world. The self-esteem issues, how many problems do we have that stem from that? Whether it's, OnlyFans and just depression, all of these things, knowing who you are and knowing your worth is really important. And this world wants to strip us from that, separate us from our divinity, teach us that we're worthless. If you don't have what the clowns in Hollywood have, if you don't have what the CEOs have, you're worthless. They say that your success depends on these worldly things, and that's just not true. So I would encourage you to spend some time, especially going and grounding, spend some time in nature. And if you haven't yet realized who you are, your divinity, your great part of this cosmic ocean of being, spend some time in nature and ask God and Goddess to help reveal that to you, to help show you your worth, to help show you how loved you are and how incredible you are, because we're all great. I'm not trying to be like the powers that be want everyone to just be like, oh, you're hot, even though you're like, they just want us to have this puffed up, self-inflated view that's completely false, like telling someone that they look great when they don't, right? Like, why do we have this? We need to be telling people the truth in a loving manner. But my whole point is that there's just so many agendas to try to have this false ego that has nothing to stand on. When it's questioned, it just falls over, this false pride, right? But when you really know who you are and you know your divine plan, you know all of that, it's just so much better. Rocket says, we are divine beings. We should eat properly to propagate spiritually. Exactly. That's a great comment. Flutter says you should add tags to get more views. Okay, thanks. I will take that into consideration and try that. TomTom says you need to calm down a bit. Your vibe is hectic, mate. Well, maybe that's you projected onto me. I don't know. David says the Megillah teaches the most important thing we can know is the true cosmology, where we are, and those that don't know about our flat Earth reality don't know the truth. That is so true. Just also knowing who we are, that we're in this enclosed realm, that we are in this perfect safe space, this perfect safe bubble. It's really flat Earth. I already knew that God existed before flat Earth, but knowing that we're in this perfect realm of safe, this snow globe of protection, it's just so beautiful. And the closeness that we are to the creators, that they love us, it's just so beautiful. All right, I'm gonna get off of here soon. I'm having some trouble with the with my chat here, but yes, I'm actually gonna take off my shoes to ground myself while I stand here and just see if there's anything else that I should say before I get off to go and play. David D says that this created enclosed world proves we have a creator. Exactly. And for so many people that are lost and suffering amnesia of who they are, their divinity, where they came from, Flat Earth is a really great step in the right direction of realizing that we were created, that there is a God and goddess, and ultimately that they love and want us to be in fellowship and communion with them. They don't force it on us. They want willing children that willingly want to come and play and work alongside our mother and father in this great realm. So that being said, I hope that you'll take some time, maybe send one of your family members a message, try to connect with your family today on Family Day, and just try to also connect with Mother Earth. She is your family as well, and she wants to take away all of the pain and suffering and negative demonic attacks and feelings that we always are facing in this world. So I hope that is encouraging to you, that she is right here waiting with her arms wide open for you. She loves you and she wants to help you feel better. So I hope that you have a wonderful day. May God and the Goddess bless you.